Right, one of the things that I really like making on my lathe is jewellery, and I've shown some of the necklaces that I've made in the past. I've also made several rings in the past. This is a selection of titanium ones. Titanium's a nice material to work with, and it's also known for use in jewellery, so it's a good metal to use. And you can get like bar ends and offcuts on eBay of titanium, which is suitable for ring making. And jewellery making is a great hobby to actually get into if you have a lathe, like a Chinese mini lathe. This ring here, to show you this one here, this is a titanium signet ring that I made with a copper insert. And that one took a little bit of time, but not too much. They're all fairly easy to make. And most of the second op work is done on what is called an expanding mandrel. And today I'd just like to show how quick and easy it is to actually make an expanding mandrel. The other day I showed this one being sawn cut on the Myford ML7 with a slitting saw in my milling attachment. You can do the saw cuts before or after the actual machining of the diameter to actually hold the work, and even doing the actual cone on the inside. You can actually, like I say, do the slitting saw after all those ops at the end. And you can even do the saw cuts by hand with a hacksaw if you're careful. Incidentally, I'd just like to show you this lovely tool that came today through the post. This is a ring gauge, jeweller's ring gauge, and it's made of solid aluminium. You can see all the lovely markings on there in red and black. And I was really pleased with that when I actually felt the quality of it. It's a solid tool, not hollow or anything. And it comes with this set of finger ring gauges. These are steel ones and come on this loop. The loop unscrews so you can actually take the rings off individually and try them on. You can even test them on the actual gauge there to see that they're dead accurate. They have the sizes written on each one of these as well. And like I say, if you're into ring making, this is a really good set to have, well worth the money, and it's only $12 to actually buy together. So now I'm going to go out to the workshop and machine this one up to hold one of these rings, just for an example. So firstly, I've clocked the mandrel in the jaws, and now I'm going to turn the diameter to actually suit the ring. That's just about going. Now turn down the back part here for clearance. So now I'm going to turn the mandrel round the other way and centre drill it and drill it through with a 7mm diameter drill, which is the core diameter for an 8mm thread. And if you do the saw cuts at the end of the other ops, you don't actually need to turn it round like this. This is turned round so that the drill doesn't pick up on the saw cuts that are already in the material and could make the drill wander. And I've got my compound set on about 18 degrees. So now the cone is about right for the 8mm Allen bolt head, which I shall be turning down to the same sort of cone on this side here. I can thread the mandrel with the 8mm thread. And I just start the tap off and then finish it in the vise. So that's the main part of the mandrel finished. The ring is a nice fit on the mandrel and it doesn't fall off. And I've threaded it down through now to accept the 8mm Allen bolt, and all that I need to do now is to machine off this corner here with the same angle as the cone in the end of the actual mandrel. So I leave the compound slide in the same angle, don't have to touch that at all, and I use another mandrel, this one here. This is just a hexagon bar with an 8mm thread down to a certain depth. You can either just screw the Allen bolt down and lock it against the bottom of the thread so it only goes in that far, or you can do a double safety method. You can actually put a nut on the Allen bolt first, screw it down until it bottoms out on the end of the thread and tighten that one up. Get the right Allen key. Tighten that one up and then tighten the nut up against the end of the mandrel, and do that one best when it's in the jaws. Like that. Lock that nut up and just check it's running fairly true. And you can even use a live centre just to steady it a bit. and that's about it. So now I have the finished ring mandrel, and I'm really pleased the way it's turned out. It's turned out perfect for size, and now I can use this mandrel for actually deburring the rings with special deburring tools like this one here. Or I can actually use it for milling operations. I can take the mandrel out the chuck and hold the rings and use it for buffing the rings up on my buffing wheel. Or I can use it for simply polishing the rings or decorating them on the actual lathe. So there are excellent little things to make up and dead easy, and there's many different ways of actually making them.